Most travelers come to Ireland expecting green hills and castles, but beyond the famous postcards are coastlines shaped by Atlantic storms, villages hidden between mountains and sea, roads that seem to disappear into the landscape, and places where life still moves at a different pace. Ireland isn't just castles and green hills, it's coastlines, villages, history, and landscapes that quietly change from one region to another. And once you move beyond the obvious places, you realize how much more there is. And most visitors never go that far. Ireland isn't just beautiful, it's unexpectedly varied. What people think Ireland is. When people think of Ireland, they usually imagine rolling green landscapes, ancient castles, traditional music, and lively pubs. And that version absolutely exists. But Ireland changes quickly once you move beyond the major cities. Coastlines become wilder, roads become quieter, and many places feel surprisingly untouched. The Ireland that appears in travel brochures represents only a small fraction of what the country actually offers. Because once you venture past the well-known attractions, the landscape transforms in ways that catch most travelers off guard. The crowds thin out, the pace slows down, and suddenly, you're experiencing a version of Ireland that feels almost entirely your own. Dublin, the anchor. For many travelers, Dublin becomes the starting point. The city combines history with modern energy. Historic streets sit beside newer neighborhoods. Music spills out of cafes and pubs, and the city moves at a different rhythm than many European capitals. Dublin feels approachable in ways that larger European cities sometimes don't. The scale remains walkable. Neighborhoods each carry their own character. Georgian architecture lines entire streets in some districts. Markets appear regularly throughout the week, and conversations with locals happen more naturally than visitors often expect. But Dublin is only the doorway, because beyond the city, Ireland starts changing fast. The urban energy gives way to something quieter, something older. And the further you travel from the capital, the more pronounced that shift becomes. Cliffs of Moher. On Ireland's west coast, the Cliffs of Moher rise above the Atlantic Ocean. In some places, the cliffs reach more than 200 meters high. Powerful waves have shaped this coastline for thousands of years. The weather changes constantly. One moment, sunlight. The next moment, clouds moving in from the ocean, and the scale feels much larger in person than most people expect. Standing at the cliff edge, you realize how small you are against forces that have been working on this landscape since long before human memory. The wind carries salt from the ocean, seabirds navigate air currents that shift by the minute, and the sound of waves hitting rock carries across the entire area. This isn't a place you simply photograph and leave. It demands time, because the Cliffs of Moher reveal different moods depending on when you visit and how long you stay. Early morning brings softer light and fewer crowds. Late afternoon creates dramatic shadows along the cliff faces, and stormy weather transforms the entire scene into something almost primordial. Ring of Kerry. In southwest Ireland, the Ring of Kerry reveals another side of the country. Roads curve through mountains and coastlines. Villages appear between valleys and open landscapes. Every turn seems to reveal something different. This isn't one attraction. It's an entire region that slowly unfolds. The Ring of Kerry covers roughly 170 kilometers of varied terrain. Some sections wind along dramatic coastal edges. Others climb through mountain passes where fog often settles in valleys below. And throughout the route, small communities maintain rhythms that haven't changed much in generations. Sheep still cross roads without urgency. Stone walls mark property lines that date back centuries. And travelers quickly learn that rushing through misses the entire point, because the Ring of Kerry isn't about checking off viewpoints. It's about allowing the landscape to gradually sink in, about noticing how light changes as weather systems move across the Atlantic, and about discovering that some of the most memorable moments happen in places without names on any map. Most visitors leave Ireland thinking they've seen it, but the deeper you explore, the more it changes. If you enjoy discovering destinations beyond the obvious, this channel is built for that. Village life and local character. One thing many travelers remember about Ireland isn't only the scenery, it's the atmosphere. Small communities still feel connected. Local cafes become gathering places. Conversations seem to last longer, and villages often feel like communities first and tourist destinations second. Life here can feel surprisingly personal. In many Irish villages, the same families have lived for multiple generations. Local shops know their customers by name, and newcomers are noticed not with suspicion, but with genuine curiosity. This creates a social fabric that feels increasingly rare in more tourist-heavy destinations. Pubs function as community centers where locals gather not just to drink, but to connect. It's the atmosphere. Small communities still feel connected. Local cafes become gathering places. Conversations seem to last longer, and villages often feel like communities first and tourist destinations second. Life here can feel surprisingly personal. In many Irish villages, the same families have lived for multiple generations. Local shops know their customers by name, and newcomers are noticed not with suspicion, but with genuine curiosity. This creates a social fabric that feels increasingly rare in more tourist-heavy destinations. Pubs function as community centers where locals gather not just to drink, but to connect. Musicians show up on certain nights not because they're scheduled, but because that's simply what happens. And visitors who take time to engage often find themselves included in ways that transform a simple stop into an unexpected highlight. Because Irish hospitality isn't a tourism strategy, it's cultural identity, hidden castles and landscapes. Ireland's landscape hides reminders of its history almost everywhere. Castle ruins appear on hillsides. Ancient stone structures sit quietly in fields, and roads often lead to places without signs or crowds. Sometimes the places people remember most are the ones they weren't expecting. These aren't grand tourist attractions with guided tours and gift shops. They're fragments of history slowly returning to the landscape. Walls built from stones cut centuries ago, towers that once served as defensive positions, and abbeys where communities gathered long before modern Ireland existed. Many of these sites remain completely accessible. No tickets required. No barriers. Just open fields and permission to explore carefully. And that freedom creates a completely different relationship with history. Because when you can walk through a medieval doorway without crowds or restrictions, the past feels less distant, more tangible, and the stories these places tell become yours to interpret without someone else's narrative overlaid. Food and culture. Irish food reflects the landscape around it. Seafood shapes many coastal regions. Traditional meals often focus on simple ingredients. Fresh bread, stews, and local produce remain important, and food often becomes part of a larger social experience. In Ireland, meals aren't rushed. Restaurants and pubs encourage lingering. And many of the best culinary experiences happen in places that have been serving their communities for decades rather than catering specifically to tourists. Oysters come from nearby bays. Lamb reflects the grassy hillsides where animals graze. And bakeries still produce soda bread using recipes passed down through families. This connection between food and place creates flavors that feel rooted in specific geography rather than generic international cuisine. Why travelers are looking beyond Dublin. Travel habits in Ireland are changing. Many visitors are now spending less time rushing between famous landmarks. Road trips have become increasingly popular. Travelers are looking for quieter villages, coastal trails, and experiences that feel slower. Because increasingly, people want places that feel real, not just recognizable. This shift reflects broader changes in how people approach travel. After years of chasing Instagram-famous locations, many travelers are rediscovering the value of places that simply feel authentic, where daily life continues regardless of tourism, where landscapes reveal themselves gradually rather than all at once, and where the experience feels personal rather than performed. Ireland's smaller regions benefit from this shift because they've never been designed primarily for tourists. They've simply existed, and that authenticity becomes their greatest appeal, because travelers increasingly recognize that the most memorable experiences often happen away from the places everyone else is photographing. Who this side of Ireland is for. This side of Ireland is for travelers who enjoy atmosphere, for people who want coastlines and history, scenery and culture, famous places and quieter discoveries. Ireland offers all of it. It's for travelers who appreciate conversations as much as views, who understand that sometimes the best moments happen when plans change, and who value experiences that can't be replicated through screens. This version of Ireland rewards patience, curiosity, and willingness to follow unmarked roads just to see where they lead. Ireland isn't just castles and green hills, it's coastlines, villages, history, and landscapes that quietly change from one region to another. And once you move beyond the obvious places, you realize how much more there is. Layers that reveal themselves slowly. Stories that continue beyond what guidebooks mention, and moments that feel entirely your own. Subscribe for more journeys beyond the tourist version. What part of Ireland would you explore first?